Hello everyone, welcome back to the White Collar Engineer. Today, in order to share his DMS IIT Delhi's interview experience, we have Anuj with us. Hi Anuj, welcome to the White Collar Engineer. Feels great to see you after such a long time.
Hi Saleh. So great initiative by you. So I hope this YouTube channel will reach to many people, and this is a very good YouTube channel. I also saw some of the videos, so it is a very good quality, and the videos will be very helpful for future aspirants. So just want to tell the viewers that please view, share, and subscribe. It is a very useful channel.
Thank you so much Anuj for your kind words. So Anuj, हमारे audience को अपने बारे में कुछ बताओ.
Yes, so hello everyone. My name is Anuj Desai. So I was born and brought up in Gujarat, and I did my 12th in science, and I did my BTech in chemical engineering from NIT Surat. From there, I got placed into L&T Energy Hydrocarbon Limited, and I worked here for 3 years in engineering and procurement division. From here, I went to DMS IIT Delhi. So I have recently completed my first year.
So you have come a long way. कैसा लग रहा है?
Yes, so it is a very hectic journey. So, yes, obviously quite challenging, and there are many difficulties. But yes, I believe that there should be always action from our end. We should be keep on doing. There are also many failures and rejections, but no worries. That's what MBA teaches us.
Correct.
So I believe that the one important thing which was very helpful for me was keep on doing things. Don't think much about the results.
Right. So Anuj, let's talk about the selection procedure of DMS IIT Delhi. So as you know that CAT के form पे IIT Delhi का नहीं होता है. So how do people normally apply for IIT Delhi, and what is the process all about?
Yes, so just I want to tell that IIT Delhi DMS releases its own form. So the good thing about it is not like it comes in September and October and ends before the CAT. This is not the case with DMS IIT Delhi. Around the day of the CAT, the form releases, and it is till 30th January or 31st January. And do not expect that this date will get extended.
Yeah.
So here roughly I guess around 1000 to 1500 one has to pay for the branch. There are actually two streams for which you can apply. One is general MBA and secondly is MBA in telecommunication.
Okay.
And inside the form there are many details which you need to fill, but there are all basic details. At the end there are three important questions which will be very important along with the CAT score for shortlisting. So the three questions were, the first one being why you want to do MBA, second one was why DMS IIT Delhi, and the third question being what were your extracurricular activities. So
Right.
during the final convert, there is also 5% weightage which is given to extracurricular activities. Hence, that was also a question at the end. So this was the process in the form filling. And later in the mid of February, they released their own shortlist that out of, let's say, there were 100 people. So out of that, how many got shortlisted?
Okay.
So roughly from my experience, it is around 1400 to 1600 people who are generally called for the interview. And the interview generally happens in March. So for me, I gave the interview in 2024. So during my time, it was around 12 to 16 March. And for the batch which appeared this year, it was around 2 to 6 March. So this was the process which generally DMS follows.
Fantastic, yeah, fantastic. And it is not that hectic also, like January ZAT के बाद बच्चे आराम से feel कर सकते हैं, looking at their CAT percentile, तब तक results भी आ जाएंगे. It's not like FMS की CAT से पहले you have to fill and do all these things. So fantastic. So Anuj, during your time, once all these things were done, so later on, like it was simply a PI or कुछ GD WAT वगैरह भी हुआ था?
No, so I will explain. So as I stated earlier, so there were the process were across 4 days, and it was held in two sessions. One was morning slot, and the second was the evening slot. And it was directly PI, which was personal interviews. There were no GDs and there was no WAT. So just a disclaimer that this is for my year and the batches around me. It is not that the same will be followed in the coming years.
Right.
So it was purely PI, and PI generally lasted from 10 to 20 minutes. And in the panel, there were 2 to 4 members.
Right. So, what an aspirant should expect in a PI? Like, you have seen yourself as well as a lot of other people, appearing for the interview process. So, एक freshers point of view से या फिर एक experienced work वाले के point of view से, what things they can expect in a PI?
Yes, so number one thing, I believe that why MBA should be very clear, because this is like make or break of type of question.
Correct.
If we state very generic answers, or the answers not, if they feel that we are telling very vaguely, then this will be directly a sort of elimination for us. So the first thing is why MBA is very important. Secondly, I believe the explanation of WorkX is very important, because we are doing a thing for a couple of months or years, but the one who is listening for the first time.
Right.
So in the short span, we should be very crisp and will be able to tell the entire gist of what we do.
Correct.
Third thing, I believe that current affairs are very, very important, because in my interview itself, they ask a couple of things related to it. Fourth thing, I believe that static GK is also very important, because I and along with me, other candidates were also asked about static GK. And the fifth thing, I believe that you should be very thorough with your profile, all the extracurriculars, as 5% weightage is given to it, and all the candidates have to bring the certificates in the interview itself for verification. So there's CR certificates also, so we need to be able to answer on each and every certificate. So
Exactly.
this was just a overview. The 5 domains should be very clear to aspirant who is giving the interview.
Exactly. And talking about the resources and the preparation strategies which you used, Anuj, like what all resources did you use and how did you prepare yourself throughout the GDPI session?
Yes, so mainly I used to give a few mocks. So I took a sort of PI and GD help from a coaching center in Vadodara itself.
Okay.
So they helped me through the process. So I gave some online mocks also, but I want to advise the future students that please give some offline mocks also, because online and offline is a completely different thing. The way we sit, our body language,
Right.
the way we speak, entire changes when we are in the offline mode. So for preparation, I would tell that give as many mocks as possible, or the students can also reach to some of their seniors who have already cracked this process. So this will be number one, the first thing. Second thing, I believe that the profile part and the extracurricular parts are themselves they need to do, and also the YMBA. These are the things which they need to think about them. And coming to the current affairs, I used to refer the study IS YouTube video channel. So on a daily basis, they release 10 to 15 videos. It is generally for the UPSC, but the way they explain and the way they present, it is very good, and they used to cover everything. Apart from it, the editorials which Hindu used to give. So generally they are restricted, but I will tell that please go in the incognito mode and read that all the Hindu articles. So this will also help in the VRC part, because the language is high, and also it will cover the current affairs.
Correct.
So I believe if someone does this consistently for a particular duration, then naturally the results and improvement will be seen.
So Anuj, let's come to the interview experience part. Like, what all questions were asked to you in particular?
Yeah, so it started with a short intro I needed to give. Then later on, they asked me why MBA. Then the third question was my work experience. So there was a bit of grilling on both these aspects, like on the why MBA part and also on the work experience part.
Okay.
They were continuously cross questioning why this, why that, and seeing my academics also. They asked why not MTech, MS, or give GMAT, GRE. So we should be very well prepared with it. Then they asked me that tell any 3 current affairs. So during my time, there was a Paytm Bank thing which was going on.
Yeah.
So I told that another 2 current affairs. Then they asked me that do you know that with which bank Paytm is planning to go, and do you know like GPay and PhonePe are already collaborated with which bank. So I believe that was very important. And then they asked me that do you know about stock market, what happened yesterday. So actually it fell by 2%, and the SEBI had told something that there is a bubble or something.
Okay.
So they asked about me why the stock market crashed. So the gist of it is we should be very well versed with the current affairs. Then they asked me some static GK questions like how many states are there in India, how many union territories are there in India. Then they asked me that, tell me that Delhi is a union territory or not, and there is something difference in Delhi as a union territory and other union territories of India. So there is something that Home Ministry governs certain police and other aspects of Delhi. So that what they wanted to hear. Then they told me there is some law or constitution bill or something is being passed related to this, so you are aware or not. So this was mainly the flow of my interview, and it was around 15 minutes.
Okay.
And this was for 2024 at the time I gave, but I also have two transcripts with me. So I will just tell what was asked during this year.
Sure.
So in this year, the first thing, this is of a panel who has done his MSc. So the first question they asked him, tell me about yourself. Then why MBA? Then they asked a very direct question like, what is business? So we should be able to frame it very well. Then what is consulting? And we needed to give 5 examples of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we need to tell what is your long-term goal, like where do you see yourself in 5 years. Then do you know about any geopolitical tensions between Ukraine and Russia?
Okay.
Then they asked about, do you think that World War III will happen? Then what do you think that India will take side of Ukraine or Russia?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the basic flow. Then they asked that, do you saw the film Oppenheimer? And this was asked by one of the panel members. Then the other panel member asked that, how will you rate this panel out of 10?
Okay.
So this is a very tricky question.
Yeah.
Then they asked that, how do you rate yourself in the interview? So this is also a very tricky question. Like we cannot tell very low or very high. You should be very aptly explain and answer this question. And then they asked that, what other calls do you have? And this was the flow of it. And in the second transcript which I had of this year, the only change was they also asked about the number of people who visited Mahakumbh and what technology was used to track them.
Right.
So actually there are many panels. I would like to say around 15 to 20 panels. So very different things were asked in it. But whatever I told earlier, there are 5 major buckets. So if you are very well versed with it, I believe that there will not be any problem.
Yeah. So Anuj, you mentioned that one of your juniors, he or she was being asked about what is consulting. So was there any case like he or she has mentioned his or her particular interest towards consulting, or was it completely random?
No, it wasn't random, but in why MBA and where they see themselves in the future, they said that they are willing to go in consulting.
Correct.
So that's why they asked this question.
Correct. So the buckets or the domains which you have spoken about, it very much covers all the questions which were asked to you as well as your juniors. So more or less this would suffice.
Yes, and just to add a thing, there was also a tricky question another junior was asked. So they were asked that, let's say if you are a education minister of India for one day, what changes will you bring? And the second question was, let's say if you are a prime minister of India, then what steps will you take for India?
Okay.
So like this type of situations or questions also might be asked. So we should be very well versed with it.
Right. So guesstimate, situational questions, and everything which kids should be prepared for.
Yes, guesstimates, I believe, weren't asked much, but yes, this were asked, like case-based questions, like if you are in this situation and what will you do, sort of.
Right. Especially the Mahakumbh one, like that was
Yes,
a kind of approach where they wanted to understand if you are able to approach it in the right direction or not.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Correct.
So in that guesstimate, it can be used, yes.
Right. Is there any other tricky question or anything which you remember, Anuj, from your experience or anybody else's from whom you have heard?
No, this was the thing. So I believe I have covered everything.
Sure. All right, Anuj. So before wrapping up the video, any particular tips which you would like to give to the juniors?
Yes, I believe the 2 tips I want to give. So the first one is your why MBA should be very clear. So this is not just for the interview, but at the moment when we start the preparation of MBA, if our why MBA is very clear, the purpose of doing a thing, then I believe that all our actions will naturally flow in that direction. So whosoever is doing, I believe, don't do in rat race, or like if he or she is doing, I want to do. Their
Exactly.
purpose should be very, very clear. The second thing I want to tell is interview is always a sort of conversation based rather than a Q&A based. So I believe that if we keep the interview as we are talking to someone, not like if we are talking to someone, or like we are discussing with someone, then that is better rather than if we are thinking that some superior is asking a question and we are giving answers.
Always.
So I believe these two things, if a candidate keeps with them, then naturally there will be improvements, and the actions will be better.
Yeah. All right, Anuj. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the White Collar Engineer and sharing your interview experience as well as other transcripts. We wish you all the best for your final placements. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you, Saleh. It is a great initiative. I know this is your second YouTube channel. The first one was also hit and doing very well. So I would just urge to the people, please like, share, and subscribe. This channel is very important and resourceful in terms of guidance. So very nice initiative by Saleh. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anuj. Yeah.